AMVCC, which is the Arizona affiliate chapter of the Military Vehicle Preservation Association. Welcome to Fisherville, to the MVPA National Organization. I'm glad you came out. I hope you're having a good time. I'm going to be talking about a leadership topic today that probably matters to all of us, and that's how do we continue this hobby beyond us. This is going to be kind of casual. I want you to just ask any questions you might have, or slow me down if you need to. But if it starts getting close to 10, stop me, because we want to go outside and watch that airdrop. I'm not kidding about that. That's important to me and probably to you as well, because they're going to do some good stuff at 10. A little bit about me. I got into this hobby kind of an unfortunate circumstance. I was working in semiconductor engineering, making more money than God. Everything was great. Paid cash for an H1 Hummer, and after about 10 years, the market collapsed, and me and a bunch of my colleagues all consolidated down into a much smaller workforce. So we all got laid off, and I needed to sell that bank account to continue my life, like to pay my mortgage and keep having my house. So when I sold that H1 to carry us through the next year and get a new career, I just didn't have a nice off-road do-anything vehicle, so I found that we could get into a 5-ton for just a tiny bit of money. And that was a very capable vehicle, and I did it. But the problem I had was I couldn't register it. Didn't know how. So I started Googling, and the Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Club popped up. I made a phone call, and this guy I used to work with in semiconductor answered the phone. A guy that I knew his voice as BWR. This is Rob. And Rob answered the phone and said, well, how can I help you? And this is Rob, by the way. He's of our club. He's been around longer than ever. So help me find the way to get my vehicle registered, join the club. That was the way to get your vehicle registered. He didn't give me the details. He says, come to a meeting. Great strategy. Don't give it away. Come get it. And so I joined. I'm the current president now. I've been around longer than a decade. I've been helping out with leadership on the club for a while. This is our second year bringing leaders to nationals. These are some of my vehicles. This is my 5-ton. It's an M925. M886 that they have colloquially cloned. Give it the name, the Sambulance. I like to say it's so ugly that only mom loves it, but that's me, I'm mom. I have a M998 Navy decoy Humvee, and it's a real military Humvee decoy. It has a heated hood and tailpipe, so it looks right on night vision if you've ever seen something like that. I presented a lot of topics for a lot of reasons. I mean, I was an instructor teaching quality in semiconductor. I presented nursing topics at national conferences. I still present anesthesia software, leadership, how to do clever things to get the software to do what our anesthesiologists need it to do. And I'm presented at multiple national conferences, so that's why I'm here. But about our club, the Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Club has 3 pillars: the restoration, preservation, and education surrounding historic military vehicles. All eras. We have stuff from World War I, we have stuff from German forces that show up, just about anything. We're from Phoenix, 5th largest city in the nation, about 10th largest metro in the nation, I think over 5 million people. And despite having all these people ready and handy, we still face the same things that many clubs are facing, which is declining membership, declining participation, declining leadership. So we've been working on that. Over the past 10 years, we've started to turn that around, and I want to talk about some of what's working. It's not just putting names on the roster, but it's engagement that matters. So we'll kind of walk through some of this stuff today. I'm not going to talk too much about the roadmap, because we're just going to walk down the roadmap. And what's up with all the Jeeps? It's always Jeeps. I'm just kidding. 5-ton guys like Jeeps too. We could throw a couple of them in the back and take them with us if we need to. Any of you seen any of these patterns? You having low turnout? You can engage with me, yes. Leadership, hard to get leaders to the table. We face that too. What about the young members? You just stacked full of 19 through 30-year-olds? Okay, so that's a similar thing. So your aging core membership, that's what we're having, low volunteerism. And the problem for this, the risk, is how do we go forward? How do we keep doing it if we don't have that pipeline of young people? You look at the pictures. We have archives and archives. Rob's been a wonderful media guy. He's collected the pictures over the years, and he's in those pictures as a young man, as are most of our members. 20 years ago, the same people are in the pictures that are still in the room today without a lot of changes. That's a problem. We have a few, we're working on it, but that's probably what you guys are facing too if you're anywhere like us. So talking about the MVPA, they've been also discussing some of these things. We've got about 3,500 members, about 80 affiliate chapters. They talk about things like hundreds of restored original vehicles, convoys, these national shows. We have 200 members now. I just counted the roster before the show. About 100 of them are currently renewed, meaning they've paid their dues, they're engaging with us. And we've always had about a half of the members that are on our list are engaged. Like if we have 70 members, we have about 35 that are current. It's a very typical trend, probably normal, I don't know. And I never hunt people down too hard, but I always, the gentle push, hey, you want this incentive? Why don't you get your membership renewed? We just had our 35th annual show. We've been around since '82. So I don't know if you were here last year when they were recruiting hard and they recognized the best recruiter in the nation. That was a kind of a good idea. So the MVPA is talking about recruitment. It's important. This is a concern for them. I'm not looking at text. I'm just going to see where we're at with time. I just want, it's important that putting people on your roster isn't the only thing you need to do. It's important. It matters. That's who you're talking to. But we are already here and we already know what to do. We need to engage new people with different things. And I know this is, like, how do you do that? That's going to be the big question the whole time. MVPA talks about trail rides, convoys, conventions, rallies, families. Great. We say right on the front of our website, if you look at our sign and if you look at our paperwork, owning a military vehicle is not required to participate. I think that's important because I don't think everyone can own a military vehicle. Maybe not everyone wants to own a military vehicle, but that doesn't mean they don't belong with us. If they have interest, if they want to participate, we have ways. There's plenty of ways. I think that what's important is somebody coming new to the hobby needs to know that they fit in here, that they belong here, they're welcome here. And sometimes it grows on you too. Maybe they will end up having a military vehicle later. We had a great, wonderful secretary who was with us for many years. And I think she was working towards a vehicle for a long time, but her life circumstances didn't end up allowing it. But she spent a lot of time in the seat, a lot of time on the trail rides, the convoys, the events. She belonged. She was very welcome. Many times it's the spouses, children, family, friends. They come along. They're part of our organization as well, and therefore they should belong and fit in. And we need to make sure that we're respecting them, taking care of them, treating them well, and minding our behaviors, because we can still act a little bit like Neanderthals at times. It's just a thing. We do. We don't have to reinvent the hobby. We have a great hobby. Look at the room. Look outside in the parking lot. We do a great thing here. We just have to keep it going and maybe adapt it a little bit to keep it moving forward. By the way, you'll see I've sprinkled in some of these little hints at our website, our Instagram channel, our Facebook. I think the branding is important. I'll talk about that a little bit, but also always make it easy for people to find you. When you're in a conversation, refer them to your website. You could talk for an hour and not explain what you do. You can send them to a website and they can read it on their own, uptake it. Maybe you're passing somebody in an airport and they say, what does that shirt mean? You say, go to armytrucks.org. It says all about it. Ask me any questions you have. It saves everyone time. Don't turn away the conversation, but have other tools with which to improve that communication. Just because someone's interested doesn't mean, hey, that guy's interested, that gal's interested, those kids are interested, now they're going to be a member. Not necessarily. You have to keep engaging them. Once you have them in your presence, once they come to an event, let them touch it. Let them sit in the vehicle, let them participate, maybe put them in a seat. A lot of people don't have a vehicle yet, so therefore they don't feel like they belong. We have several very active club members that either have a vehicle and it doesn't run yet, they're working on it. They came here to get help getting a vehicle running. They want a vehicle, they don't have one yet. They met us at a show, they started coming to meetings, and then they end up having a vehicle. There's a lot of ways people get here, but I just don't want people to feel like they don't belong if they don't have a vehicle. You come to the room, you don't know anybody. So once you've been around a decade, you know people from a lot of chapters. You You've talked to people, you recognize their names, and that gets easier. But that first critical time, that period, the first meeting, somebody should sit next to them, welcome them, talk to them. Hey, do you have any questions? What are you working on? Do you have a vehicle? Why are you here? You know, engage with them. And when you have volunteers, I think most people in generally want to help, but they also don't know if they're allowed to touch anything. What if I put the chairs away and they don't want me to? Well, yes, we want you to put the chairs away. Here, lay some hands on this. Give them a clear task. If you would just stack all these chairs against that wall. Last night at the dinner, I went and asked leadership. I'm not here to stack chairs and tables, but I said, what do you guys need to do over here? Well, it'd be great if we could stack the tables. We have a crew. Let's stack the tables. We stack the tables. We know how to stack tables. So give them a clear expectation, a limited time scope. If you volunteer, that doesn't mean you're here till the end of time, and we'll never let you go. If you could stack these chairs before you go, that would be great. 10 minutes, right? Give them a half-hour task, an hour task. If you could work the table from noon to 1 so somebody else can have lunch. Clear expectations. Many people are balancing family, school, work, cost pressures. So just because somebody wants to help doesn't even mean they can. Sometimes I gotta work that weekend, I can't come. You can't structure every single thing you do and every single task we have around everyone's schedule. So these are all things to balance. Same thing with leadership. When you go into leadership, many people don't want to commit the whole rest of their life to leadership. And unfortunately, sometimes it feels like that when you become a leader of an organization like this. Nobody else will ever step up. And we'll have to talk about that as well. But if somebody finds you online and they ask a question, engage them. I suggest not just answering their question, but saying, I would love to talk to you about this at a meeting. I would love to have you come out and meet some of the people who are experts at this. I can find you the answer. I can do all this work for you, but isn't this your project? Why don't you come here and help me help you? And once you get them in the room, maybe they'll find out that they love it here. Maybe they won't, but at least you've given it a shot. So it feels good to be the expert on something and answer their question and solve their problem and be a hero for a few minutes. It feels better to have a new member in our organization who can help others also. Oh, I want to talk about a couple of these pictures. This is Austin Miller. He's one of our young club members. I used to say he's our newest club member, and one day he tapped me on the shoulder. I've been here for years. There's a whole bunch of people in the room right now that are newer than me. I'm like, okay, you're the younger club member. But he came to us with a lot of knowledge and skills that I didn't even know. But when he came to a meeting, it was because he had met us at a conference or at our national show, annual show. It was our Arizona show. Won a prize, came to pick it up, sat for a meeting, brought his brother, and he said, I'd like to have a deuce and half. I said, well, stick around. Maybe we can find a way. People sell them. This is a great way to find a deuce and half. And he's just a great set of hands. This is probably him. He's in 3-color clothes all the time. That's probably him under my truck helping change a tire. I'd blown a tread on the way to an event. He's always hands-on, always a great help, but this is him helping with Albert. Albert, you might know him from the convoys, helping change a pump on a deuce and half out in another town. We went and helped a search and rescue organization fix up a truck. Just volunteering. We volunteered it, and they're gonna offer us some stuff in return, and it's just being good to each other. But he also knows how to drive an APC and helped us work on one at a show. I didn't know this. He says, hey, do you think I can drive the APC? Well, maybe. He says, I've driven one before. I'm like, when? How did you drive an APC before? And we had one that was broke down, and he knew where the air box was. Like, he knew a lot of stuff about it that we didn't know to help get it running, and that was a great thing to have. So this is one of our tech days just the other day. A whole bunch of hands-on people. This is Sean Tracy. He called me one day saying, hey, you think I could find out what events you're doing? I'm in another club. We have 2 clubs in the Valley, and we share some of our communications, but it's not we don't do everything that everyone does. There's some overlap, but not all. And I said, well, do you want to join? He says, well, I don't know. I'd like to try it out. Well, come get some seat time, do some events. And we put him in a few events, and he's now joined our club, says, we love it here. So actually interact with folks. And somebody in another club isn't your enemy. They're oftentimes your partner, your helper. So we've talked about some of this lack of young people joining or new faces in the crowd. We're not alone. This is definitely something that Mike Helton from NASCAR has been talking about. Said it used to be on a race weekend, you couldn't walk through the grocery store without knocking down 2 or 3 full-size cutouts of your favorite drivers, tripping over a race car sitting on the porch in the way to get your cart. They're struggling to engage younger fans. They're scrambling right now. They're having the same problem we're having. Anybody watch Vice Grip Garage? Lightning hoses and sparkly whirlers, and he's kind of a funny guy, real engaging, probably one of the largest influencers in the hot rod community right now. He likes to buy a car sight unseen, drive somewhere, see if he can get it running. Sometimes the motor sees. He puts the Marvel Mist Oil in it. What's in it? I don't know. It's a mystery. He's always saying fun stuff like that. And he'll drive him home a few hundred miles back to his home in Tennessee. He was just the Grand Marshal of that capital of the Route 66 record-setting Tulsa show and event. He says if we don't hurry up and engage a new set of young people, the hot rodding scene could fade over time. And wouldn't that be sad? But if you think about it, when I was young, I was out there helping wrench with the 20-year-olds on their hot rods. And I'm saying I'm helping wrench with the 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, the young adults who probably should have been buying a house, not living in a travel trailer, wrenching on a muscle car. But I was out there doing that, catching an engine or helping put a set of gears in something. And I was rebuilding stuff even when I was a child, between 5 and 12 years old. But were your children doing that? Mine were some. They were out there with me in the garage. Theirs aren't. They're looking at their phone. They're playing video games. They're doing other stuff. In fact, this is my son right here. He's an attorney. He has the money to do this, so it's not just a money problem. But he's done cross-country road trips. Called me, hey Dad. He sent me a picture of like his handful of grease and holding up, some brake parts. I'm like, you okay? He says, I'm okay. Front wheel bearing, it'll be fine. He knows how to do it, and he does it. On the side of the road in a parking lot of a AutoZone, he can fix it. But where are these people? A lot of them are at work trying to figure out how to get it done. So money is a problem. But are they at the club? I was at the club a lot when I was young in the military. I wasn't on a computer. They are. Maybe on their phone. I don't know, maybe they're hiking, playing Frisbee golf. I don't know what they're doing. But I do know that they're on all of these different platforms. I don't know if just a nod of your head if you know it. Discord. You know what Discord is? Okay, Steam. Twitch. Okay, so each of you knew one of them. Slack. Okay. Instagram. A lot of you know Instagram. Okay, YouTube. Okay, that's where we figure out how to do everything, right? WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook. Okay, so we've got a lot of people on Facebook. We like to go on Facebook for the marketplace, maybe to see family, old friends, look up people from the military or our high school. But did you know they're also communicating on platforms like Xbox, PlayStation Network, EA Sports, iRacing, Epic? These are all places they go online and communicate with you. They got their headset on, they're talking to people. You think that they're all on Facebook? No, they don't want you to know what they're doing. They're your kids. You're gonna judge them for their behaviors. We didn't get judged for our behaviors. We got away with it because nobody knew we did it. They can't put everything on Facebook. We'll see it. They're hiding it from us. But yeah, so they're everywhere. The bottom line is, if you're thinking that you're just gonna get a Facebook page and solve the problem, if you look who's on Facebook, these are the different generations that are on different platforms. And if you look, the baby boomers or the Generation X, that's like probably a lot of us. Those tall candles are in Facebook, but they're not in Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram. And I even asked some of the young people in my family, so do we need to be on Snapchat? They said, no, Dad, that's the wrong place, no. They don't even want you there, for instance, but it's not right. Instagram, maybe. YouTube, yes. Facebook. But these are recent studies that are being done by marketing agencies to figure this out, because everyone's got the same problem. This is of top platforms by age, and your 18 to 29-year-olds are mostly on YouTube. Yes, they have a Facebook account, but they're not living on it like mom and grandma and dad and grandpa are. The 30-year-olds, 30 to 49, still YouTube. So YouTube's a great platform to be on. And the Instagram is also a good place for us, but maybe the older generations, they're not on there. They're not taking pictures and posting their food and their plate and whatever to music. I had one of my members tell me, man, this is an artwork and it's a labor of love. I got to get the song just right and all this. And I've seen my wife doing this, putting music to her pictures. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So, but did I just say Facebook is something you shouldn't do and YouTube is the only thing you should do? If it sounded like that, be careful. So these are just some of our platforms at the AMVCC. This is our website. Probably the most important thing you can have is your website because you can direct them to everywhere else from that. This is our YouTube channel. This is where I like to live. We have a lot of cool stuff. If you haven't been there, I would encourage you to go to armytrucks.org and find our YouTube channel and look through there. This is our Facebook page. This is a video that we posted on our Facebook page. It's actually a cross post. This is the video. It's probably in here on YouTube. And I got a message from our media guy, Rob, and he says, hey, your video got about 50 views on YouTube. I'm like, cool. He says it got about 500 on Facebook. So that sounds better, right? But a view on Facebook, we've paid for this, by the way. We used to pay for Facebook advertising. Somebody scrolled past your video, it played for a minute, Facebook says it played. You get a count. So did you really get a high count? Did you get engagement? I don't know. Did somebody watch it all the way to the end on YouTube? I don't know. You have to make short, engaging content or more meaningful content, and you need to target lots of different audiences. You need to keep tweaking it. Unless you get 1,000 subscribers, you're not going to get paid on YouTube. YouTube's going to get paid for you being there, so it's not like you're just going to get cash like all these influencers. They do. This is our Instagram. These are some old pictures. We probably need to update our Instagram. But I'm just saying, continuous effort to capture an audience and get it in front of them. Try to meet them where they are. It's just going to be my theme throughout. There is no one thing that works. You see this little QR code down here on the bottom? We started using these to help people get to our content easier because people don't want to read the whole thing, but they'll scan it with their phone and save a link. Or they can pull up that link and get to something. So some of the things that we're doing, a little bit, changing the theme a little bit, some of the things we're doing as a club, just the old school stuff, is trying to increase the members, but importantly, trying to have a full leadership team. We are fully staffed with leaders right now. We're very fortunate. Are all of us 100% engaged? No. But that's okay. It's a constant mentoring process, a constant effort to engage, involve, and grow the next set of leaders. Financial strength. We've had a few rough years not too long ago. I think the MVPA has suffered a few rough years. Restoring that as quickly as possible, turning that around is important. Infrastructure. Here's something that we've done recently as a new club trailer. You see Matt pulling it in. You see us using it at an event. The problem we've had for years is we own some things. Maybe it's some chairs or maybe some tables or some posters, some banners, some canopies. But the things we own are scattered a little bit here and a little bit there because nobody has room in their garage for all of it. So we talked about, what do we do? Do we rent a storage locker? Well, that's $100 a month. I mean, we have all these options. We don't have a brick and mortar place like a museum. We therefore shouldn't own a lot of stuff, but we do need to own a little bit of stuff. So how do we do it? So it's a very smart and careful balance between how much do you spend on what do you have, and what do you need it for, and what do you do with it. There's been suggestions that we own all these things that we use at an event so you don't have to rent it. But sometimes renting it's better so you don't own it and maintain it. So there's a fine balance. The club trailer's been a huge benefit to us because all of our stuff, we've slowly gathered it all up into one place. You don't have to go to a storage locker or 3 people's garages, load it in a truck, take it to an event, unload it, use it, load it back in a truck, take it back there, unload it. Who's going to have it? Where is it? Can I get in there today? No, you hook onto the ball of the trailer, pull it to the event. Everything's there. Jeff just spent some time reorganizing it recently, and it's been a great asset. We got a good deal on it. We actually spent about $4,500 on it, put about $500 worth of tires on it, redid the wheel ends. Our members donated the time and parts and effort to do a lot of it. Jeff and I and a couple other members painted it. We put a new floor in it, and it's like a brand new trailer now. It's registered permanently to our organization, which is legal in our state, and it's perfect.
9:30.
Thank you. We're focused intentionally on leadership development, but we're also focused on member value. So the member value is why we've heard it since the date, like early on when I joined the club. People say, well, what do I get for my membership? Why should I be a member? And sometimes the leaders struggle to answer that question. I don't know what you get for your membership. I can answer very easily these days. Your membership is $35. we're going to feed you that in one meeting sometimes. I mean, on our annual show, we fed 3 meals a day for 3 days to everyone for free. We probably have at least 3 or 4 meetings a year where we feed you. So if it's just a meal, if anyone's had a check at a restaurant lately, I bet you spent $35. So that's the first thing, we give it back. We offer fuel incentives for different participation. We offer event tickets. You might get to go to NASCAR and have an infield experience. You might get to go to a sporting event, the Phoenix Suns, the basketball game, the Phoenix Rising, the soccer club, wherever it is, the hockey stadium. We've done a lot of events where we got free movies. So there's a lot of things you can give the members of our organization that is of good value to them. And I intentionally try to give that away even to people who didn't necessarily put a vehicle out there, so there's something for the young people who might not have a vehicle yet. Participation is important. But let's go back to so you've got a young person who wants to engage. They want to start, but they don't have a vehicle. What should you be doing with them? Well, one of the things that helped me when I was new, I sat in the room, a very experienced member sat next to me, and I will just say June was great. He made sure I felt welcome. He helped me out. And I try to do that with some of the new members, but even more importantly, we sometimes put somebody in a vehicle. We've been working on a model these days where we're putting a newer member, a younger member, into a vehicle. Maybe you're a member who has multiple vehicles. You can't drive them all. Maybe you have 2 or 3 Jeeps, and you would take more if you had a little bit of help. Sometimes you have a newer member, Lance is here, our VP. He doesn't have a vehicle yet. He has displayed all by himself vehicles multiple times. This is actually one of mine. I had 3 events that day. I had my 5-ton at the Air Force Base. I was attending our East Valley Club's annual show because that's important to them, and it's good that we go show up to that. And I had an ambulance available, and he says, I'll take that and do this event. We don't have anyone going. And this was supporting a VFW fundraiser to open a new branch. And that was an important thing for them. He actually drug out all the medical supplies and set up a nice living history display. I was floored because I actually drove by. I said, I'm going to drive by and see your display on my way to the Air Force Base when I'm done with that. I hit all 3 places, probably 2 hours of windshield time. Came by, I was just so impressed by what he did. He did a great job. He won a trophy that day. And he left the trophy in the ambulance and said, this is your trophy, this is your stuff. And I wanted him to have it, but he left it for it. So that was the first time it actually won an award. I still think it's too ugly for a trophy, but people love it. It matters. It's meaningful to me because I'm a nurse, so I, of course, love it. But yeah, match them up. Put them with somebody. Get them in a seat. Give them some time. Leslie in the back of the room here is our secretary. He has his own Humvee, but it's not running yet, and he's had the opportunity to drive another member's Humvee in a parade, at least for a portion of it while she had other responsibilities. He's taken another club member's cut fee to multiple displays, done a great job, and he's a gracious host. He always fills the tank. He makes sure everything is right. He puts up the data plates and hats that honor that member whose vehicle it is, because he's not doing so well, but he still wants his vehicle out because he committed. So we're doing a great job helping out that member. It's helping out another member. Seat time, put it in the hand. Over time, he's going to have his own vehicle. But right now, Lance, Leslie, some of these other members who are operating vehicles for other members, everybody wins. It's just a great strategy. We have another member with a lot of mutts. He's talking about, I'd like to let some of these mutts that are not assembled and I have all the parts for it, go to a member who will put it together and display it. I don't want them to own it, but I would love it if I gave them everything they needed to use it, and then it got displayed instead of being in the back of a warehouse somewhere. You should actually intentionally invite people. I tend to invite family members to help volunteer at events, and sometimes say, well, I'll give you $50 to do it. Sometimes at the end of the event, they're like, I don't want the money, this is great. This was worth way more than $50 to me. Promote the ride-alongs. I've taken family members on convoys. I've taken family members on parades, trail rides. They love it. It's a great way to introduce them. And I'm not just talking my son, I'm talking like grandkids and stuff who weren't exposed to this growing up. So we use public events. We try to partner with our city municipalities. This is at the Buckeye Airfair. We actually have SpaceX launch during this show with these fireworks and 50,000-gallon gasoline explosions with flyovers and stuff. It was just amazing, this event. But look at the tanks and the shows. I think that partnering with the other events going on is a great easy button for you. If you don't want to do all of this work, why don't you say, hey, can we be a 30-year show? And then you don't have to do everything. That's helped us out a lot. Assign a greeter. Give some responsibilities that people can do. They can run a cash register and sell t-shirts. I would rather buy a t-shirt from my daughter-in-law than from Jeff any day of the week. She's much more friendly. He's going to give me a hard time and haggle at the price, and she's going to say, yeah, go ahead, you can have two. Just take it. Yeah, you'll shortchange me. But then celebrate the contribution. Feed them. Let them have a shirt at the end of the show. I mean, what does the shirt cost you? 13, 15 bucks? And if they're not charging anything, they worked all day, let them have a shirt. Give them something. Show that there are valuable, either it's events or fun or engagement for these people. When they see online, show the pictures, show what's going on. Explain it in the story that the young people are seeing. Meet them where they are. Show them this on your channels. And make sure that you're celebrating these people helping out. I had some coworkers. I work for an organization that's nationwide, and I have coworkers in other states. I had a friend of mine, just a work colleague that I just never really get to see him. He actually has family in Utah. He flew in, came down, worked our show. Just a great event. I think he's going to join and be a member because he's got a flat fender Jeep. He doesn't have a military vehicle, but get him out to an event. Sometimes all it takes. So I took this picture because it shows Jeff doing what he's always doing, which is work. Jeff always does work, so I just wanted to explain with pictures. I'm actually helping him by getting in his way. That's what I usually do, is get in Jeff's way while he's working.
He looks tired in that picture.
What's that?
He looks tired in that picture.
We are tired. We put on a show. It's a 4-day event. We were tired. Yeah, mix it up. Keep the activities moving. Don't just say we only do car shows, or we only do this church fundraiser, or we do this. Do it. Try everything. Change it up. You'll start to build a community of veteran service organizations and people who call on you year after year. Oftentimes they'll make donations to your organization to help further and fund the mission. And sometimes people want to volunteer just because they love helping those veteran service organizations and organizations like ours. And if we keep them engaged, maybe sometime they'll grow into be leaders. You'll probably see some of these faces in this room right now. This is our current staff and leadership. Rob's here. Steve, Lance is here too. He's just not in the room. Jeff's here. Leslie's. So I'm here.
Steve.
I said Steve, didn't I? No, I can't see him because there's a glare. So I'm presenting today. So, we gave value. We brought these members out to Louisville. We brought I think we were fundraised for 2 officers, took donations for it, fundraised for it. It was a good thing. I'm kind of doing it as a dangled carrot. There's an incentive for leadership. I think it's good. They're here learning more about the hobby to be a better leader, meeting other leaders of other organizations. We brought 5 this time and ended up being 7. We actually, I think, have 9 or 10 people from Arizona and New Mexico here today. All of them chipped in a little bit. It's not free. Everyone has some skin in the game. But some of the things that we're doing is we're trying to have really fun and valuable events. Jeff and Jeff Galino got to go out to this really wonderful high-end golf resort and rub elbows with some people that were probably more affluent than most of us. And Jeff had the disappointment of driving back down into the general population area afterwards and said, man, it sucked. Every time I got a mile further from that place, it was back to reality. But, good food, good fun, and people enjoyed seeing the military vehicles. These are some of the things that we've done. And if you want to have some of these slides or some of this information, I'm Sam at armytrucks.org. You can find me on armytrucks.org, and we can share some of this later. But we talk about the different examples of reinvesting and how do we make our choices. It's definitely, we don't just spend the money. We try to think, how can we use the money in a positive way? If we're going to buy something, how is it going to be paid for? Is it going to perpetuate a charge, or is it going to generate revenue? Always be thinking about it and balancing it out. And whatever you do, when you pick up the phone, it doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit one person. If there's an opportunity, balance it out, share it with the organization. It can benefit the organization, it can benefit a lot of members, but it should never just benefit you. Because whether you think they see it or not, everyone sees it, and they know, and they feel it, and then they don't want to be here anymore. So keep it honest, keep it real. And engage these new members. This is Austin with his 5-ton. Remember I told you he wanted to buy a deuce and a half? Before he graduated high school, he bought a 5-ton. And he drove it to high school. He's now in his high teens, young 20s. He's been to many
42.
Thank you. So what do you guys do? I mean, how does this help you? What can you do next? How can you repeat this in your organization? We can talk about it. If you have any questions or thoughts, go ahead.
Well, I'm not a leader, but I have noticed that the main organization for Ohio is located much north of us, and a lot of the meetings are in one location, but they bring the meeting down to us sometimes, or whoever wants to, so that has helped. But how do we, we're so spread out. People are probably the same as you, 3 hours away, and they can't come to the meetings everywhere.
So my Arizona folks are in this meeting right now.
Oh, because you're live streaming.
We're live streaming this on YouTube
That's
right
what
now.
we need to do.
And it's free. And we used to do a whole media production. Rob worked for the TV news, so he'd bring an entire truckload of gear and we'd set it up. During COVID, we started live streaming, and it was interactive. We were all our faces on the screen. You've probably seen it like one of those meetings, like Zoom. And we were doing that for a while. And when we got to be back in the American Legion Post and go hybrid, we started having people back in the room. We tried to continue that model, but I was talking to the camera, answering questions, watching the screen. Do you like me talking to you, or do you like me talking to the live stream? That's right. So the people in the room get your focus. The people on the stream get to listen in. They can send a message and talk to somebody else, but if he doesn't see it, it's okay. We'll see it later. But yeah, I would say live stream. So, any other questions? Go ahead. I can share this with you. Go to armytrucks.org, and you can find me on the contact page. I'm Sam at armytrucks.org. I would email me. I'm the president of the Arizona Club. Sam at armytrucks.org. What did you like about this session? Did you learn anything? Anything like that, I would like to hear from you. So, anybody want to volunteer? Go ahead, Texas.
We got a very small club, and we recently been working on expanding our recruitment process.
Okay.
We've got some, we have some banners made with QR code on them that take people straight to our website. Expanding our Facebook at some point. Sounds to me like we need to expand on YouTube.
Do what you can. Little baby steps.
Yeah.
You know what you need is somebody who's young and interested in all this, maybe somewhere from the community college, somebody who's on these platforms already to help you out with it. I'm just now learning how to live stream on YouTube. I don't even know that I'm doing that good of a job. Rob's giving me some compliments, but I've only done a few. But we have people who do it very well. They do it better than us. What else? Go ahead.
Very informative. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So I think the message of meet people where they are is probably the most important message I got out of it, because I've encountered this in taking care of my brother who's got dementia.
Yeah.
Right? I go to see him. I see him in different states and abilities. Every time I go, he's different, right?
Yeah.
And so I've had to learn that I have to meet him where he is. If I go in with an expectation of something in advance,
Next slide, Rob, please. Next slide.
I'm likely to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Or I may be discouraged. But if I can meet him where he is and understand where he is on that given day,
Absolutely.
my encounters will be much more successful.
As a nurse, I commend your effort, and I think you're taking the right approach.
Thank you, sir.
No. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Yeah, again, Nick with History Emotional.
Hi, Nick. We've
Magazine.
interacted a little bit.
I appreciate all helping the magazine and stuff like that. I think you hit a key. The message from all is do something.
Yeah.
Like the magazine and the MVPA itself. It's struggling. Younger membership. the platforms like you talked about. That's so important, whether you do all of them or any of them, just something,
Yeah.
engaging is key. I think if.
Just keep engaging.
Yep,
Just keep
yeah, I
trying
mean,
it.
having them touch it, feel it, sit in it, that's always, an engaging, fun thing to do
Yep.
and stuff like that. But I think you guys are doing a great job out there, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your presentation here, and I think it helps.
Oh,
a lot of
absolutely.
people
Thanks for
get
having me to
this.
present it.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody else?
47.
Okay. Rob, I'm going to give this back to you, and I guess I'll just say a final note. We have a mission statement. We carry this mission. If you want a piece of this paper, it's laying on our table over at Arizona. We actually have a kiosk running of videos that Rob has compiled over the years. And you can stand at our table and watch some of our trail rides, our vehicle recoveries. My favorite, probably hands down, is the Yuma vehicle recovery. That's where you get to see this ambulance for the very first time getting drug out of the quicksand of Yuma. And the Turner Trail rides. Those are some of my favorite ones, but there's many vehicles, a lot of history. Some of our shows are there. But this info sheet will direct you to some of our channels so you can contact us and scan the QR code. But these are some of the things to think about. Like, how are you mentoring young people when they get here? How are you developing that next leader? Are you intentionally trying to find your next leader and saying, start shadowing? I asked Lance, I checked in with him, he's our VP. I said, Lance, are you getting enough from me as a president? Like, if I wasn't here, could you do it? He says, no, you need to be sharing more of this with me. So I started sharing more of this with him. Like, I'm busy handling phone calls and not telling them what I'm doing. Let them know what you're doing. Develop that next set of leaders. But that's about it. I think there's going to be an airdrop. Last question?
Yes, sir. I'm having an ongoing struggle, if you will, with our leaders about understanding the importance of governance and all this.
Sure.
I think there's a difference between governance and leadership.
Absolutely.
And one of the points that you made was about making things more accessible to new people so that they don't have to self-navigate.
Sure.
And one of the things that I'm really fighting is to try to get every committee in our group chartered, because the charter does more than what your bylaws say they have.
Absolutely.
It does more than what your constitution says. The charter tells people what you are, what you're supposed to do, what your deliverables are, when they're due, that sort of thing. And so I'm having this ongoing struggle because they see it as extremely difficult without providing any return on value. And so I think your point about making things easier to navigate is a very important part of that argument that I'm going to make. The other part that I try to tell people is, if you want people to give you financial support, you have to demonstrate that you are going to be a good steward of their money.
You're doing great things with it.
And governance, good governance is essential to that. And if you have a charter for all of your committees, that's a great way to demonstrate that you're managing your organization smartly.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. And scaling that to whatever size your organization is also important. But we always, if we're gonna have something where we risk making more money than it costs because it's a big event, we always have a nonprofit veteran service organization partner that we list that we will give a portion of proceeds to. I just handed a $200 check from our last event to American Service Animal Society, Dogs for Vets. And it feels good to do that, but we beat our expectations, had a little bit of extra money, so we gave them a portion of that. And that makes people feel good when they're helping us, to know that we're helping someone else. But what a great thing to say that a completely run by donations and fundraise support organization gives some of that money to another nonprofit organization who does the same thing. I think that's good. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for the session, and I'll see you guys out there at the show.
Thank you.
Can you shut this